got suspended for 2 weeks for bullying me. So he got what he deserved. But the whole thing about it is a lot of these kids are also afraid to stand up for themselves, and they should never be afraid to stand up for themselves, ever. Trust me, if I can do it, and my cousin can do it, everybody else can do it. You just got to learn to believe in yourself, and not learn to listen to other people. Because the more you listen to people, the more you give in. See, I learned if you stand up for yourself, they'll back off of you. And the funny thing is I did that. And the funny thing is, nobody's been fucking with me since then. And not to mention the fact, I've also gotten right tall, too. So that's another reason why nobody's actually messed with me lately. But yeah. Excuse me. I do have to apologize, though, because like I said, this is my first time doing an actual podcast. Not doing a show like my show that I do, the Seth Show, which I will be on later on this evening for my show, the Seth Show. Starting this evening, it starts 8 p.m. to 10 p.m., by the way. This is for the radio station out there in Kabul. They want to add my show to their lineup, which means no profanity whatsoever, nor song, not even any language coming out of my mouth, which that starts this evening at 8 p.m. So just figure I'd throw that one out there for anyone who wants to listen in to that. I think what I'm going to do with this podcast here, with Talk is Cheap, I think what I'll do is starting every Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday, I'll be doing a podcast of Talk is Cheap. Because I think what we need is people who need to speak their minds about things, get things out in the open. And that's what I thought I'd do with this podcast, with Talk is Cheap. Because a lot of times, talking seems to help a lot more with issues out there, more than actions. Like violence, for example. Violence doesn't solve nothing. Talking more to the people and trying to understand them, I think, would help more. But a lot of people would seem that violence is more of the answer. I've never been a violent person, so violence is not the answer to me. I would rather talk to the person and try to, simmer them down before something happens, instead of having them pull out a knife or having them pull out a gun and just say, you know what, fuck you, I'm going to shoot you in your damn head. I'd rather talk to them and try to calm them down first, and then see what happens after that. Not making jokes or nothing, but being more on the serious side about this stuff. Because it is scary out there. This world nowadays, you never can tell. You go out there to the theaters. Sometimes violence solves a lot of my problems. Yeah, but you can't always depend on violence, though, Josh. You can't always depend on that. Sometimes violence is not always the answer, my friend. You know that one as much as I do. Sometimes you may not have a choice. But, yeah, this is a world nowadays that we live in. It's a scary world out there. You go out to the movie theaters and you don't even know what's going to happen. All these movie theater shootings that's been going on as of late. Like, for example, let's see here, what was it, 2012, and that guy, Jack Holmes, who shot up the Colorado movie theater out there. That guy ended up getting life in prison instead of actually having the death sentence, which I think is bullshit. Because, I mean, that guy, they're saying he was insane when he did all that shit. And here's the funny thing. The man wasn't insane. The guy was perfectly sane. The guy knew what he was doing. He knew what he was doing. Hell, he even made a damn claymore in his apartment. How the fuck do you not know what you're doing? Are you gonna tell me that guy was insane? Y'all are fucking crazy. I swear. I mean, the judicial system nowadays, I swear to God, they don't know their shit. And likewise with these damn lawyers, they don't know what they're talking about either. My client is insane, but whatever. Motherfucker knew what he was doing. You give me that bullshit. That's like the other guy there at the movie theater, what was it, in Tennessee, I think? Took the coward's way out by shooting himself, by killing himself. Take the fucking coward's way out, you damn bitch. Damn, you know what? These guys conceal and carry when we go to places like that, just because you never know who's going to flip out. You got that one right, Josh. You are definitely right about that one. Because you never know who's going to flip out. You never know. You absolutely never know who the hell is going to flip out. That's why when I went to see The Dark Knight Rises, I actually took my knife with me. I took my pocket knife with me. And although my brother asked me why I had my knife on me, and I told him because of the fact that I am protecting myself. If somebody's going to pull a gun out and start shooting up people, I am going to defend myself. And if I'm going down, that son of a bitch is going down with me. That's pretty much how I see it. If I'm going down, he's going down too. And I make sure of that one. I mean, I don't have a dead eye when it comes to throwing a knife, but that doesn't mean that I can't go running at him with a damn knife and then stab the shit out of him. I'm not, if I'm ever going to get shot or anything like that, I'm not going down without a fight. And that's just the way I am. I'm not giving up so easily. That's how I see it. I don't know everybody else's ninja style. Yeah. Yeah, ninja style. You got that right. This world, and I got to throw this one out there too, because on a note here, I also got to send my thoughts and prayers out to those out in China for that plant explosion that happened too. They're still counting how many people are either dead or injured. That's some serious shit out there. That is totally some serious shit out there. But yeah, my thoughts and prayers go out to all the families out there out in China. And I'm sure there are people out there from here in the United States that are probably out there in China too. But that's a scary thing out there. It is really a truly scary thing. At least what kind of plant it was. You know, I heard this morning of what kind of plant it was, and I completely forgot about it. Unless I was to look it up online here. I got my iPod sitting next to me here, so I still got 8 minutes before I'm done with this podcast, because I think I'm only going to do 30-minute podcasts with this Talk is Cheap thing. So let's find out, shall we? Let's go here to Google. You got to give me a second here. Sorry. Plant in China. Plant explosion. Plant explosion. China. Let's see what kind of thing this massive explosion in Tianjin, China, cause unknown. It doesn't really say what kind of huge explosions in China and China's Tianjin port area kill 50. It was a chemical plant explosion. It was a chemical plant explosion. That's what it was. A chemical plant exploded out there in China, in Tianjin, China. So all of my thoughts and prayers go out to all of them out there. They said some of the explosions was almost like an earthquake, tremor-wise. That's still horrible. That's horrible. They get more shit out there. They get more shit that happens out there than I've ever known. Taiwan, Japan, China, Korea. They got more shit that happens out there than anything else. And I've never seen anything like that before. And there's so many things that I can say that some people probably don't want to hear. But this is the reason why I made this podcast, so Talk is Cheap, because I'm not only getting things off my chest, I'm pretty much getting everything out in the open, whether people like it or not. And if you want to listen into this podcast, that's fine. If not, Y'all know the deal. But this is everything that I'm talking about, everything that I want to get out in the open, whether it's religion, all of that. People have their own opinions. I am open to people's opinions. Whether they're good opinions, negative opinions, whatever. Everybody's a critic, so it's the truth. Everybody's a critic out there. When I throw this out here real quick, I got 5 minutes left. Throw this out here real quick. For tonight, for my show tonight, for the Seth show tonight, it is going to be a theme from 2000 to 2010, and that's a whole variety of music, R&B, rock, hip-hop, whatever. Catch is, there is no profanity in any of these songs. There cannot be no profanity in the night. None whatsoever. For every time I broadcast, every Friday night, there cannot be no profanity on any of the songs that I pick. Even if it's one or two words, it still cannot be played. That's just the rules to the radio station out there in Kabul in Missouri. That's their rules, that's their policy, so I live by them. So if I want my podcast to be played on their radio station, I got to go by their rules. So just figure I'd throw that one out there. Which I'm actually amazed that I have not, the only person that I have that likes this is my own cousin, which is, hey, it's cool. And he's listening in, so that's pretty cool. And of course tonight I will be taking requests from anyone and everyone. I got 3 followers, 3 new followers who will probably be tuning in tonight, so can't wait for that one. We'll wrap this thing up here. Of course, as we all know, that this is going to be Obama's last year as president, well, until next election, which is not this November, but next November, when we elect a new president. And we've got a race going on this year. It is very interesting. There's a lot of new people out there who are running for president. Some that I can't believe are running. Some that I think would make good presidents. So I guess we will see when that comes around. And of course, don't forget, last night was the rest of the meteor shower last night. So I hope anybody had a chance to see that last night. I missed out again for the second time. So that kind of sucks, really. But nonetheless, though, this new podcast here, like I said, I'm going to give you guys a heads up again on this. I think I'm going to be doing this every Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday nights, which will be a 30-minute podcast, in which I'll either be doing it on my iPod, my iPad, or my computer, whichever I choose to do the podcast on. But this new podcast is called Talk is Cheap, which goes by anything to get out in the open, and this goes by not just to me, but to anyone out there who also have issues they want to open up about too. So hopefully with me, because I'm not very good at helping people out, but I try my very best though. So this would be a good reason why I opened this podcast up. Another collection, if you will. I invite everyone to listen in to this podcast. I open up about a lot of things. I am starting to become more open-minded about things. So if you guys would like to listen to this, you guys are more than welcome to. I have no problems with it at all. Also, every day there will be a different subject to talk about, and if I get thrown off onto another subject, I will try to do my very best by going back onto that subject. So, yeah. And of course, let's see, what else do I have? That's pretty much, I think, all I can think of right now. Still got a minute left, so, I guess with that in mind, I guess I'll go ahead and end it. Let me do this real quick here. This isn't what I would normally do, but I am going to do this here, so bear with me here. There we go. And of course, and with that, I'm going to go ahead and end this podcast here with Talk is Cheap. I hope you guys enjoyed with this podcast here, and I will be on later on tonight, 8 p.m. with my show, The Seth Show, as DJ Seth Keep It Sweet Wheat. But as for this podcast, I am known as DJ Seth Wheat. So, and of course, with that in mind, I do thank you guys for those who did listen in this afternoon for Talk is Cheap. And with that in mind, I'm going to go ahead